has reiterated that the EFF shutdown was a complete failure. The party's Secretary-General Fikile Mbalula has thanked South Africans for what he says was the rejection of the EFF's protest on Monday. The EFF, however, described their mass action as a resounding success, citing the closure of major businesses across the country. Our politics editor Lukhanyo Calatha is at Lutuli House in Johannesburg, and he joins us live, standing by to speak to the Secretary-General of the ANC. So, Lukhanyo, if this was a massive failure, what then would a success be for the party?
Dudu, good afternoon. I think that is the poignant question that we left with, obviously, after the briefing by the African National Congress here. And you're correct by stating that I am joined by the party's Secretary-General, Mr. Fikile Mbalula. Sir, thank you so very much for this opportunity to talk to us. Let's just quickly talk about why the need for the African National Congress to respond to the shutdown by the EFF on Monday.
Thank you very much for allowing us, and thank you for the question. We spend a lot of money in terms of repositioning the security forces to deal with the so-called shutdown. And a lot of people got frightened, not knowing what will happen following the disaster of July riots. And this cannot just be reduced into a non-event. And the governing party has got no view about what happened. And then you simply pass it as a by-the-way issue. It was not a by-the-way issue. What the EFF wanted to do in this country, they wanted the country to burn. And they wanted the citizens to be at the helm of that. And our people have rejected that. Have kept skirmishes somewhere, sporadic actions. The majority of South Africans said, uneasy, we're not coming to the party. That's what has happened. You can claim easy victories. We're not in that business, that you have succeeded in your own time. We know that it's a figmentation of your own imagination. You see things that, you know, are not real. So the majority of the people of South Africa did not participate in that anarchy. And then we salute the law enforcement for stamping the authority of the state in terms of the rule of law. It's not being harsh on anyone. It's to protect property and the citizens. Because any destruction to property will lead to devastating consequences for the economy of the country.
Considering that, you know, the African National Congress has now labeled particularly with the shutdown as having been unsuccessful, I think there are many people who are asking that very same question. So if it was unsuccessful, shouldn't the ANC as the governing party just then move on and say, well, thank you to South Africans for not being part of it, but we move on because we've got far greater things to deal with?
That's exactly what we are saying. We are saying that thanks to our people for not being hoodwinked, and we could not do it in ballot lovers. We've got to speak. The ANC will speak for itself. Nobody will speak on our behalf any longer. That's what we have said. From Nasrec, the ANC will speak for itself. Don't second guess us by Twitter accounts and Twitter engagements. This is what we said today about the shutdown. And that's our view. And we embrace solidarity, camaraderie, goodwill across political spectrum, who have come to the party and said, not in our name, we are patriots here. It doesn't mean we don't have grievances. Our people have got grievances, but they said, not this time around, like we have been hijacked before and got to suffer and suffer and suffer. The pain, that we suffered last time cannot be repeated. So that's what the ANC says to South Africa. Law enforcement, thank you. Continue to do the work, working with the citizens. Thank you to citizens of this country and everyone, all patriots who rejected this shutdown, so-called shutdown by the EFF.
All right. So let's then change tact quickly. Andre de Ruyter, the ANC had said that you're giving him a specific amount of time for him to be able to come forward or at least go to a police station and go and lay charges. That hasn't happened. What happens next?
Our lawyers are handling the matter, and we're tracing him from last week. We should get the results by this week and next week on our further action. We'll issue a media statement. Of course, further action means going to the courts. Once we ensure that he got what comes from us in terms of the letter of demand, because we will not take that lying down and allow people to spuriously just attack the ANC for the things we can't account for when we're in this building or called Luthuli House, and then somebody just dropped the bomb and say that the ANC want to loot down ESCOM. That we will not allow without any evidence as to how the ANC is planning to do or have done that.
All right. Mr. Mbalula, thank you so very much.
Thank you very much.
Dudu, that of course is the Secretary-General of the African National Congress, just giving us, his take on today's briefing on both the EFF shutdown and of course the matter of Andre de Ruyter and his accusations against ANC and some of its members. From us here at Luthuli House, back to you in studio, Dudu.
Thank you very much, Lukhanyo Calatha, Newzroom Africa's politics editor.